Revelation chapter 3, verse 20. Jesus says to the Laodicean church, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in to him and dine with him, and he with me." The Laodicean church was known to be a lukewarm church, and Jesus earlier says he would like to vomit them or spit them out of his mouth. That sounds terrible. But why would Jesus do that? Water was, in those days, when it was hot, was valuable for washing, scalding things, and for drinking hot tea like we would today. Cold water was good for drinking, refreshing. There was value both in hot and cold water. But why would Jesus puke somebody out being lukewarm? Lukewarm water in those days was prone to grow bacteria and to be unhealthy and could sicken the body. The condition was toxic and sickening to Jesus because he saw the church for what they really were. They saw themselves as rich and wealthy and in a good place. Jesus would describe them as wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. They saw themselves successful because they were defining that in an external way. Jesus looked at the internal things. Jesus looked at their hearts. He probably would have said to them, like he did to the false leaders in Israel, that these people draw near to me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Above all things, Jesus wants to be in our heart and close to our heart. And yet, as bad as this church was, Jesus loved them. For he says, "As many as I love, I rebuke." And then we actually see what the problem is. He says in verse 20, that behold, I stand at the door and knock. Jesus is pictured as not inside of their hearts, but outside of them. He wants to come in. That's his love. He wants to come in. And love always initiates. Jesus wants to be in their hearts, because in their hearts, they can fellowship with him. In their hearts, he can purify those hearts. He can give them true riches of purity, love, peace, and goodness. You see, in those days, to fellowship with somebody at dinner was to be very intimate with them, to share food over a table. You were near them. There would be good conversation. You were sharing of the same food. That was very intimate in that culture. And that's what Jesus is inviting us to. That's what he desires for you and me. But he's a gentleman. He won't kick the door down. He knocks. And he says, if anybody will hear that knock, if anybody will hear my voice, I will come in and I will sup with him. If we'll only open the door and let him in. Let him be seated at the table. And then we really will be rich. We really will be blessed with the riches of heaven, with the riches of life. Take care and God bless.